everyone, and welcome back to Unfuck Your Money. I'm your host, Nadine Samot, and today is a very, very, very special occasion because my guest is actually here with me in the studio. Valerie Velasquez Lazarus. I said your name right?
Correct.
I didn't Arabify it. So, Valerie, who the hell are you?
Well, I'm a local realtor here in the Albuquerque area for over 18 years. I'm also your good friend.
Yes, you are.
And I'm also your realtor.
Yes, you are.
I've been serving, started from the ground up, started right after the crash of 2005 and 6, and I don't know anything but going up, so I'm here. I've seen it all.
I mean, honestly, I don't know what we would have done without you buying our house. So a year ago, happy anniversary to this house. My partner and I, we bought a house, but it was quite a convoluted process.
Well, you wanted to buy the house you were currently renting.
Yes,
Okay.
and lucky for us, what did Valerie find out?
Then no, you are not going to buy this house.
She said, you buy this house over my dead body. And I was like, what? I like this house.
We will find you a better house. We will find you a better house.
So let's start by, maybe you can tell us some of your most cringeworthy house buying stories.
Okay. So starting off in real estate, you meet people, you try to talk to them online, you see if they're qualified or not, and then you meet. And this gentleman was coming from Santa Fe. I had a list of homes that I was going to go show him. And, I was trying to be professional. He's a businessman. And so I don't know him that well. We're not that friendly. We're all business. We get to the second house. And a lot of times you have to book showings either through an online system or back then is you would call the listing broker and ask, is it vacant, is it not, when can I go? They'd give you a time. So we were going right around lunchtime on, I think it was a Tuesday morning. Everybody should have been at work at school except for the young man, the son who lived there. He was not at school. He was home with his girlfriend. So we walk in, everybody's jumping up. Everybody's running around trying to get dressed, and it goes to show that make sure you let mom and dad know if you're going to skip school.
I think you have weirder stories than that.
Let's see, what other story do I have? Well, you want to hear my zombie story?
Yes, we do.
Okay. I was showing this nice couple. I worked with them. I also worked with seniors for many, many years and did real estate. They were interested in buying a house after renting for a decade. I said, sure, let's go find a house. And, they come from, they're not from American born. They're from overseas. And so they're used to a lot of different things. So we go to this one particular house, and it had a detached garage. Uh-huh. So the gentleman, the husband, walked straight back there as to where she and I walked to the front. Well, we noticed that the door is kind of busted in, and the window's broken. I'm like, wait, no, it might be dangerous. Stay here. So I kind of call out, look around, all of that. And then I go around the corner, and the husband comes back to me, and he's all, Valerie, come quick. And he shows me, and there's a dead body in the garage. And it's covered with newspaper.
Oh, my God.
And he's all, hey, man, you okay, man? Wake up, man. And he's trying to kick him and wake him up, and I'm, oh, my God. Oh, no. Okay, everybody out. I need to call the cops. I need to call the listing broker. And so I have them go wait on the street next to their car. I'm pacing back and forth trying to get a hold of APD, our local police department, and the listing broker. And so as I'm pacing back and forth, well, the gentleman just turned out to be passed out. Oh. He broke in for a nice place to sleep and everything. I didn't know that.
You didn't know that,
So I'm
obviously.
walking back towards the garage to tell the police about the body. And I almost bumped right into him. And I start screaming, zombie! And I scream. And they said that I did the 50-yard dash, jumped over the gate, and I'm running past them. Come with me, the zombies are coming. And they're like sitting there just having a cigarette, and they're like, what? So he was drunk. He got up and he's walking away. And long story short, it was not a zombie. It was just a gentleman passed out. The police came, escorted him to overnight so he could, sober up. And yeah, I would have swore it was a zombie.
Oh my God.
I would have swore it was a zombie.
I heard this story before, but it's still very funny. I don't want to be there, but that would have been very scary.
And the lady, the funniest part is I had 911 on the phone with me. Ma'am, what's wrong? There is no zombies. There is nothing. There's no such thing as zombies. I'm like, yes, they're chasing me. That poor guy's just waking up like, I better get out of here.
This story makes more sense to me now, ever since we've been to your house over Halloween.
Yes.
So Valerie is a massive, massive Halloween fan. Halloween fan. We went to her birthday party a couple of weeks ago, and it was like a haunted house. Like, you have everything perfect.
Yay,
So no wonder your brain just went to zombie straight up.
That's it. No, not that the man was passed out or drunk or something or trying to stay warm.
He's definitely a zombie.
It was definitely a zombie. My goodness. I just, they said my little legs jumped right over the fence and took off down the street.
That's
faster than NFL running back.
Oh, man. So let's say I am, or maybe some of our listeners are first-time home buyers, or they're looking at buying their first home, or maybe their second home. So what is, how do you start the process?
Well, basically, you would get in touch with someone like me, somebody who loves first-time home buyers, but that's going to be patient, and you can shop around.
Yeah.
You can contact many people, see what they have to say. But my biggest thing for any type of buyer, whether you're a first-time home buyer, investor, you've bought many, is know your numbers. You know, you'd like to see about getting pre-qualified with a lender. You'd like to know what your credit score is. You might even want to know your debt-to-income ratio. A good lender, if you get in, not just somebody that, 1-800 mortgages,
lender.
Somebody, someone that pays a lot of money to be on TV and gets a lot of exposure. You want somebody like your lender that will pull you in.
Lovely, yeah.
Christine, I remember her name. Very good friend as well.
Yes. How do you forget?
How do I forget? I didn't forget Christine. But no, like she pulled you in, talked about your numbers, went over all the different programs and everything. Sometimes you're ready, sometimes you're not. But wouldn't you want that game plan?
Yeah.
Like you might have a couple of bills. Let's say you got out of a relationship, or you're newly married or not married, or something like that. You might not know that there's some debt there that's going to hinder you. So know your numbers. That's the biggest thing. Once you do get a pre-qualification letter, then you could sit down. I like to pull people in before and after, and we sit down and talk. What are your needs? I know you have wants and needs, but what are your needs?
Okay.
Because I need to have this. I would love and want to have certain things, but what are your needs? Okay. But that's the biggest thing. Know your numbers. Because a lot of people, Valerie, I make a ton of money. Yeah, but you have a ton of debt.
I see.
You don't have 2 nickels at the end of the month to rub together.
Rub together?
Nope. Nope.
So what is a pre-approval? That is something that was like, what do you mean a pre-approval?
Well, a pre-approval is, like I said, with a trusted lender of your choice, and you can shop it around, but they'll pull you in and they'll ask for your financials. They'll ask for your tax returns. They'll ask for some bank statements. They'll ask for your W-2s. And they'll really sit there and find out what it is that you make a month, what it is you can afford, what your bills are, and then they can give you that number. Okay. Some people say, sure, I can afford $400,000.
Okay.
Well, really, after pulling your numbers, maybe you're in the 250 to 300 range.
Okay.
So somebody who's really not, like I said, I would shy away. You can go to anybody you want or get some online quotes and meet with somebody locally. But if they're just saying, hey, fill out this application, tell me, they're not even checking your financials and then giving you some type of certificate or pre-qualification letter, then that's not going to help you, because when you go through the process and you really get to under contract and you go through the process and they find out, well, wait a minute, you said you had this debt, but you're also paying for your mom's car, or you're still on the ex's payments or something like
You've
that.
got 3 children that you haven't mentioned.
You haven't mentioned any of that child support. That's $1,000 a month.
Oh my God. So, yeah, that's so true.
They don't think of that as a debt. They just think of that as something I have to do.
Okay, I see. So that all comes. So when they give you a pre-approval, they actually assess you properly.
They went through your financials.
I remember
your credit,
sending bank statements,
bank statements, your tax returns, your paychecks, all that, and they do, and they verify that you are working.
Yeah, they do.
So people try to get qualified even though they got maybe furloughed or laid off.
Oh yeah. So a big issue that comes up with my clients is that they want to have a proper down payment before they buy a house. So what is a good down payment? So
typically, if you're going typically we say anywhere from 3 to 5% would be your down payment. Now, an FHA loan is 3.5%. A conventional loan is typically 5%.
Okay.
With your VA, it's a 0 down payment. And then if you're in our rural areas, our USDA areas like in Las Lunas or Belen, those can be considered USDA, and there's a 0 down. But
really?
We have tons of programs here in the state of New Mexico. If you're a resident and you're here and you haven't owned a home in the last 2 months, we have many programs that can help you. You don't necessarily have to have that 3.5 to 5% in your pocket. Yeah. You can get a program. And the program can let you borrow some of your down payment and closing costs. And depending on your credit and which program you qualify for.
Okay. And I was talking to a friend yesterday. So she's in Australia, so it's a completely different story. However, she was going on about it on her own, and I said, I think you need a realtor. She goes, no, I'm trying to figure this out. I'm like, no. You can't figure this out on your own because the realtor will know things that you will never know about. So what are the benefits of having, you're preaching to the choir, right? I honestly, like the first house we wanted to look at was the house we were renting. We were happy in it, but Valerie insisted that we get an inspection, and we got an inspection, and we found out that the sewers, what was wrong with the sewer? Did we have a sewer?
The sewer was broken and leaking.
The sewer was broken, was leaking.
And the gas, and the gentleman, even the inspector, kept asking you, do you feel okay? Can you smell that? Because it was so corroded and broken.
Yeah.
You had the leaking roof. You had the stains all over the ceiling.
Oh my God. You're making it look like we were living in a pigsty.
No, I just think that you guys are very happy. It was a lovely location. And our that part of town is known for everybody, the walkability, close to shopping, to schools and everything. It is very lovely. It's just, once we got into it, it was going to cost you, for the price that they wanted.
The price that they wanted was so high.
Was so high.
Yeah.
And then to add all these repairs, I said, there's no way that you should buy this house and incur all these repairs. Now, it'd be one thing. If you find out there's several things wrong with the house, you can go back and negotiate. It's called a notice of objections or a repair list. And you can go back. And it'd be one thing if you said, sure, I will fix the major things. Yeah. I'm not going to do cosmetic. Sorry, I won't do your little cracks in the, or painting, or I won't do, maybe a carpet burn or something like that. I won't do that. But he should have, for that house, he should have fixed your roof.
For the, the roof and the sewer.
The inside and the outside and the sewer and some of those wiring issues.
For the money that he was asking for?
For the money that you're asking and what you...
And then the next house we looked at, we were like, oh, this is a good house. And then we found out a bunch of other things that we wouldn't have found out without you as well.
Exactly.
So you
think of me as your Sherpa. I am your guide up the mountain, up the New Mexico mountain. But that's what I'm here for. I've been here. I have the experience, and that's what I'm here. I know what to look for.
Yeah,
I know what to ask for. And there's nothing wrong with an older house. I live in an older house.
Yeah.
I love my neighborhood. But, it did come with its issues. We've had to have the roof done. We had to get our electrical done and all of that. So I'm here to guide you and help you make informed decisions. And then there's people.
You did guide us.
Let's say that your significant other was an electrician, and then we can negotiate other things, but the electrical, hey, if they give me a credit, I'll do the electrical because I know that I'll get it done. So there's ways around different things, but that's what I'm here for, is to make sure that...
You were like a lawyer. I swear, you were like a lawyer.
Well, true.
Right?
Yeah, it could be true. It's all that negotiation. And you know what? You have a seller that wants to sell. You have a buyer that wants to buy. A listing broker on one side, and if I'm a buyer's broker on the other side, we all want the same thing. We want to get the house sold and get a nice couple, single, whoever in there. We want to get people in there so that house can, be used and utilized. And the biggest thing is everything can be negotiated. It's when people dig in the trenches and say, no, or they have this emotional attachment.
Like the second lady that was a bit of a nightmare.
She had emotional attachment, and there were, like, that one had some electrical issues that needed to get done.
I'm glad we didn't get
and
that
why
house.
Get into that? Like I said, and now you're in a perfectly lovely home. You have beautiful neighborhood,
very
beautiful
proud of this
neighbors.
House. Yeah.
We've spent many nice times here.
Yeah, we have already. So what is one wildly overrated thing that buyers obsess over that doesn't actually matter at all?
Okay, I'm gonna lay it to you straight. You have your needs and your wants, but when we find the perfect house for them, it's going to fit the number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, the living room for themselves, their children, their spouses, whoever, and then they say, oh, but you know what? My furniture won't fit, or my table won't fit.
Sounds familiar.
And that is the biggest thing. And we have to sometimes sit down and say, look.
There's a therapy session coming.
I like furniture. I have antique furniture. So does my mother. But there's a time and a place for it. Because if the house is perfect otherwise, how long with you using this kitchen table is it really, really going to last for?
That's a good point.
And so, or the couch. Or their couch. And couches will give out. I would say you could reupholster and remodel a kitchen table, get some craftsmen in here. But a couch, when it gives out, it gives out. So let's not buy the house around your couch that you're only going to have for maybe another 4 to 8 years. Yeah. Let's go ahead and find, because that is my biggest, I think that is
hilarious.
My bedroom set. There'll be other bedroom sets, I promise you. But I mean, but other than that, it's the schools that they want. It's in their price range. It fits all their needs for, number of bedrooms and everything.
Yeah.
And they're, my friend, okay, let's talk. Let's talk.
Valerie is very patient because I nearly lost my shit a few times, didn't I? But you kept me together.
We both do. But you see me rear up and fight like a tiger. Like okay, so being a Libra.
I love that about you. You're not buying this house over my dead body. I'm like, okay, what are we doing now?
Libras are the scale of justice, and we have to. Everything has to be fair, and things have to be even.
Fair.
And if they're not even, we can't live with ourselves. So when it comes to my clients, I rear up and fight like a tiger. Like I said, whether we're negotiating repairs or something's not right. And there has been times we walked away twice. You and I and your significant other, we walked away twice, and it was okay because we did find you a great. Is this going to be your forever home? I don't know, but it's a great home.
You'll be the first to find out if it's not a forever home. We won't
maybe this will be your investment, and we're going to find you your forever home, and this will be your rental.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
You never know. But
the road continues.
You see me like there is no way. I am so sorry, but no. Especially at the high prices with the interest rate so high and the high prices. No, we're going to get you a good quality house.
Here's the thing. It's very important to get an inspection, right?
Extremely.
Your own private inspector.
Yes, you get to pick the company. Nobody should ever dictate to you which inspector you should use.
What types of inspections do we have?
So depending on the age of the house, so I always recommend these major ones. A full home inspection by a licensed quality inspector. And here in the state of New Mexico, you have to be licensed. Before, maybe you used to work for the public utility and I'm going to go be a home inspector. No, you have to be licensed. And you have to have gone through the training. Okay. So by the, International Home of Inspectors, I think it's NHCI. But you have to be licensed. So I'd get a full home inspection, a sewer line. The sewer line is always, even on a newly built house.
Oh my God, these sewer line inspections, they put a video down that thing and you see all the freaking roaches. Oh my God, that was a horror story. You talking zombies? That was horrible.
That was
zombies.
God. Yes. And it helped. But even on a newly built house, when they do the utilities, they put the sewer line, they put all the plumbing in, then they put the concrete and they start to build. Those can move. So I'd always recommend that.
Even that?
Yes,
even if it's a new house?
Even on a newly built house.
Okay.
I would always recommend a termite and dry rot. Since we are in the desert, termites swarm. They move from house to house. They may not even cause a little bit of damage, but you'd rather know and get it treated. And they're very reasonable. A termite, so a full home inspection can run anywhere from $300 to $500. A sewer line inspection right around that 150 mark, and you get a video and report. And then show you all the bugs. And then termite and dry rot. Some companies include it, some do not, but they're typically around $80.
Okay.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power.
Now, for your older homes, let's say the closer you go to the mountains, maybe you want a radon inspection. If they did a lot of earth moving and boulder moving, could get a radon, especially here in the state of New Mexico. And radon's not bad. It just needs that mediation. If you find out that they have it, you would need it to get, remedied. And there's a system in place for that. Okay. Or if the homeowner has it, great. That's one less thing you have to worry about. Lead-based paint.
Oh, yeah.
Especially up in this Northeast Heights area. Lead-based paint, especially if you're going to have children, or you see peeling paint, or the house is more than, 50 to 80, 100 years old. You'd want to get one. You never know. You're cleaning. You don't want to ingest any of that stuff.
Oh, my God.
So, but we can get pool inspections. You can get... there's other, in our other branches of the, Rio Rancho, other places, maybe what kind of plumbing you have and what kind of wiring. There's polybutylene. That's a very cheap made plastic that they used to use in the 70s, 80s, and even 90s. And that, if you have polybutylene, you'd want to know if you have that kind of piping, just because they always say, well, it's not, if it's going to fail, it's when. So if it hasn't, that type of thing.
Okay, yeah. I see.
It's very rare that it can last that 100 years. So you'd want to know.
Wow.
And some people, it's a big
deal. You need to know, right?
Not.
Yeah,
yes,
knowledge is power, like you said. But then here's the thing. So the type of realtor that Valerie is just, I'm going to tell you the story, and she's amazing. So there is that home inspector, but then the lender sends their own inspector, right?
An appraisal.
The appraisal, right? So for our house to be appraised, it needed to have no chipped paint whatsoever. No peeling paint, nothing on the outer facade
and
or
that's
anywhere.
going using an FHA loan. FHA loans are very particular.
Yeah, they're very particular with that, and that's what we were getting. So what did Valerie do on a Sunday? She actually packed her car with paint, and we went to a shop and bought the stuff that we needed. And we didn't even own the house yet. A day before the appraisal happened, we spent an entire Sunday painting. And every time I look at the patches that we paint, I just think of you with so much love. Like, this is the type of realtor you are. And I mean, honestly, like, we not just appreciate it. She's going red. Y'all, she's going red. We don't just appreciate it, but you made this house more special because we worked on it before we even owned it. And then it passed appraisal. And we're good.
Well, and that comes from experience. Now, if you had asked me, that 18, 20 years ago, hey, when you go to real estate school, it's to pass the national and state tests. That's it. They don't teach you anything.
They don't teach you ethics.
No, they don't teach you ethics. They don't teach you anything. But I had great mentors, and it's the experience. So I know with the type of loan that you were getting, and it's a great house. It's a great house. It was great on the inside. It just had some little chips all over.
It's fine.
And I was like, okay, they're going to call that out, and it might delay closing. I know you want to move in, so I knew what to look for. You guys were game. I was game, and that's what I do.
We had fun, didn't we?
Do you remember I got all the glue on my hands?
Yes.
I had glue for 2 months. I could not get that glue off. I'm like, well, but it was worth it. I'm like, every time I'll think of Nadine and Tom.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, so cute. And Arby. And Arby.
No, but that's what I do. That's the type of person I am. I have helped people clean. Like, there was a little condo a while back, speaking of. It was being rented. We sold it. It was being rented by the client's stepdaughter and her friends. They promised they would clean it out. They promised everything. So we closed in the morning. I went to go check it on the afternoon. The buyers were closing in the afternoon. It was not clean. So what did I do?
You cleaned
Ran
it?
home and I cleaned that little condo. I am not going to transfer.
God.
I will not. I do not sell crap. And can I say that?
You can say that again. Oh my God, you're amazing.
So I did. It wasn't a big condo. It was only like 500 square feet, maybe that. But yes, I cleaned that. I sprayed it all down and I cleaned it and I vacuumed it. No, we didn't promise new carpet or anything like that because they were going to tile it. But I did clean it. So when they came through, I had the oven was clean, the kitchen was clean, the bathroom was clean, things were clean because I am not going to transfer owners. That's just the type of person I am.
Yeah.
You may get other realtors and they, I don't know.
We don't give a shit.
Well, one thing, I will always answer my phone. And if I don't, I'll either text you, hey, I'm with a client, I'll call you right back. And I do. There's other realtors and they can practice however they want or they have big teams or however they want. I'm just that type of hands-on realtor. I want to help it. I will do anything. I have bought microwaves. I have bought refrigerators.
Wow.
I have bought things that happen because if I have a buyer and we negotiated, let's say the microwave, and then the seller signed the day before, we sign in that morning, we go to get keys in the afternoon and the little tabletop microwave's gone and it's halfway to Montana, I'm going to make my buyer happy. And I'm like, welcome home. Wow. What color would you like? I will run to Walmart
Valerie.
and buy you one. Yeah, but that's, to me, it's to make people happy. I want people to be happy. Is every single experience that 100% no, but we try to make it happy? There's home warranties. We haven't even talked about a home warranty.
Oh, yeah.
Let's say that there's something iffy with a home. You're buying a home, everything's great. The hot water heater is 10 years old, but it's running perfectly. But you're like, well, it's percolating. I don't know how much longer. We'll get you a home warranty. I have bought home warranties. My clients buy their home warranties. That's something to give them peace of mind for 1 year. It would cover all the major mechanicals for 1 year.
Good thing that we passed the 1 year mark. Yeah. The only thing that busted in the house was me, but that was me. There was no warranty on me. But anyway, all good. All's well that ends well. So now that people hear this, and I'm sure that they're probably asking, like, how do we, if I'm barely scraping together the down payment, how can I pay a realtor? Who pays the realtor?
That's a very good
buyer's
question.
realtor.
So in 2024, there was a major lawsuit that came up.
Okay.
And so now we have to sign a buyer-broker agreement. So when we sit down for a buyer consultation, I go over that buyer-broker agreement. Everything's negotiable. Everything is negotiable, from the listing commission to the buyer broker commission, everything. So we will negotiate that. And to that fact, we will sit down, negotiate it, and say, this is what I'm due, this is what I charge, and we will sign that agreement. Now, going forward, we find a house that you like. As a buyer, you can ask a listing broker to either pay a buyer broker compensation as part of their closing cost, to give them money to, or to just outright say, hey, it's on page 3. For as much as they didn't want us to be part of a purchase agreement, we're on page 3, and it says right there, Mr. or Mr. Seller, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, I am requesting at this purchase price that you go ahead and pay the commission of my buyer broker. Mm-hmm. So it's straight up. We want it to be clear and concise, and everything is always negotiable.
Okay.
But before we've even gotten to a purchase agreement or we've arrived there, you and I, we have had that discussion about what I'm due, and then that can always change.
Yeah, I remember I told you, like, we need to find a house that will cover your,
or maybe
your
they
fee.
cover 90% and you cover 10%.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything is negotiable.
Yeah. And so we had a very long process because I don't know, because the universe wanted us to become very close to you, because we came very close in
and
this
we
process.
met many years before that.
Yes,
too.
I know, but we were on our way to Australia. Yes. But the universe conspired to make us to get to know you really well and love you with all our hearts. But usually, does it take that long? Because it took us like 7 months to buy a house.
From spring, I think I started talking to you in April or May.
Yeah.
And then all the way to, good. No, it doesn't typically take that long.
Okay.
It doesn't typically. But I'm also on the how do you say, the side of caution to where it'll take as long as it takes. Uh-huh. I'm not looking. So when I look at my clients, I don't look at them like dollar signs. I never look at them and say, okay, this is my commission. This is what I'm going to make. Oh, I have to hurry up. We have to buy you a house. Or if you don't buy the first one, off to the next client. No, I want to buy you a house that is right for you. Mm-hmm. And my longest client, I told you, was 8 years.
Yeah, 8 years.
And she's still happy. And she's still there, and we're still good friends. But that's the thing. I want to find the house that's right for you. So sometimes, how about this? Can I give you a good example?
Yes.
We were out, a client of mine, we've been looking for a while, her and her significant other and their little baby son. We've been looking for a couple months now. Nothing is floating their boat. They're very particular, and they like certain areas. So I remember it's a very small house with a huge yard. And I had because it was a beautiful day. And I had all the windows and doors open, and because it's not that big. It was it's maybe 600-700 square feet. And so I had the doors open, and the little guys running around, and, we're just having a good time. Another couple showed up. And they looked nice, and they were walking around the property. He was kind of taking measurements. They were in a big work truck. It had his big company sign on it. And then I said, I'm sorry, we're almost done, because it was coming to the top of the hour. I said, if your realtor's on their way, I'll go and lock it up, and they can get the key out. They're like, no, we're not working with anybody. And I said, okay. And so my client is the one that said, hey, Val, well, can't they just peek their head in? I mean, if they're not, can they... we have the doors open. I'm getting him in his car seat. And I'm like, sure. I said, hey, would you like to peek your head in? My client doesn't mind. You can peek your head in, and then you can take your measurements on the outside, because they really like the yard. Mm-hmm. So, and then I walked him out. I helped my client get in her car. These people were walking out there. Oh, thank you. It's way too small for us, but thank you for letting us look at it. I said, hey, if you ever need anything, I'm here. My time is with them now. But if you ever need, call me. They called me the very next day. We had a buyer consultation that week. We are under contract, and this hasn't even been a month.
Oh my God!
We found him a great house, and we're closing early. We're supposed to close on the 21st. I think we're actually going to close next month. That's awesome.
So, that's really cool. Wow,
so I love that. I love that. It was very nice, and they're like, "Oh, it's fate that we met you." And I'm like, "Hey, no, just being nice, just being courteous." I asked permission from my gal. She said that would be fine. They just peeked their head in. Oh, no, it's too small. Oh, okay. And we could all see it was too. It's a very, very cute house, but it was very, very tiny. It was about the size of this garage.
Oh, that's such a cool story. Valerie, what the heck is an escrow? I'm a homeowner. I don't know what the heck I can't even pronounce it. Escrow.
So there's two escrow. When we send the transaction to escrow, meaning once we go under contract, we send it to the title company. The title company is going to work on all your documents.
Okay.
You're going to work on working with your lender to finish up anything that they need. Uh-huh. You're going to send them your pay stubs. You're continue to send you their pay stubs. Anything else that they request. They might want to know maybe further taxes if you're self-employed. Mm-hmm. But when it's at the title company is going to get the survey, going to get any HOA docs, going to get everything ready for when we go to closing. So that's your escrow there. Mm-hmm. But when we have an escrow account, is, every month when you make your payment, you're going to make your payment, and then you'll make one payment, but that payment goes to pay your principal and interest. It goes to pay your property taxes. It goes to pay your homeowner's insurance.
Okay.
And it goes to pay, sometimes you have private mortgage insurance, all that for one payment. It all
And they
gets
distribute it.
Yes,
oh,
they distribute it.
So now, so with what other things, except for the mortgage, what other payments should someone be aware of? So you mentioned property taxes.
Yes.
HOA.
Okay, if your home is located in the HOA, you would have a yearly
homeowners association.
Yes, a homeowners association. You may have a monthly HOA, and it could vary depending on what they cover. If it's a smaller HOA, maybe they just cover the front landscaping where you turn into the subdivision.
Okay, yeah.
For $40, $50 a month. If it's a higher HOA, which some of them are, they could be anywhere from $200 to $500, which seems a lot, but do they cover all the roofs? Do they cover all the water heaters?
Wow,
Do they cover the exteriors of the building? So that's an added bonus. If you never have to worry about your roof or your stucco or the exterior, or they may have pools or tennis courts, that's an added bonus. Or some of them do cover taxes too.
Oh, wow. Okay.
On some of our developments, especially on the west side and our newer developments, you have something called a PID. That's a public improvement district. That's an extra tax that they put on your property taxes. And it's probably anywhere from 25 to 30 years. And you'll know it because if your taxes were, say, without the PID, $3,000, but with the PID, now they're $3,800, it's on your taxes. It gets billed monthly through your escrow, through the escrow.
So
that helps.
So now we've got to worry about the mortgage. We've got to worry whether there is or there isn't HOA. And the property taxes, and what else?
Some people can buy it outright. Depending on how much you're putting down, there's something called a private mortgage insurance, or PMI. And that helps. That's an extra amount, depending on the type of loan you're getting, how much you're putting down. That's an extra amount to help cover in case you don't make your mortgage payment.
Oh, okay.
If you default. Sometimes that can automatically fall off after 20% equity in your home.
Okay.
Other times you have to refinance out. It could be the life of the loan. But like when we received our mortgage, it fell off. Once I had about 20% equity, I called my company up and said, hey, I sent them the valuation. We got a new appraisal. It came off.
Oh, wow.
Which could be around 8 to 10 years or so into the mortgage.
Depending on how much you add to the principal.
Exactly.
Okay, so you can pay off a mortgage early if you start feeding the principal.
What they say is if you can make one extra principal payment, that's your principal and interest payment a year. So let's say your total payment is $2,000, but your principal and interest is $1,500.
Okay.
The other $500 are for taxes and insurance. Let's just say if you can make that extra principal and interest payment of $1,500 once a year, they say you can drop your mortgage anywhere from 5 to 8 years.
Wow.
Give or take. But not doing anything more. You're just making that extra and bring it down. I try to tell my clients anything you could do. Extra $25 towards principal. Anything. Even a month. Wow. It will help.
Yeah, it will.
It will help. Because when you sign your mortgage and you go to and you get your closing documents, they're going to give you an amortization schedule and you look at it. It's front loaded. You pay taxes for the first 20 years.
Interest, you mean?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you pay interest for the first 20 years, and then you start paying the principal.
Then you
it's
start
sad,
paying it down.
right?
But if you could start throwing little chunks at it, like I said,
the interest will go down, right?
Exactly.
Oh, wow. So, okay, that's very interesting. So we have to worry about the mortgage, the property taxes, HOA, and insurance, the PMI that you mentioned.
Yes.
Yeah.
But remember, for one mortgage payment, those are included. The only thing that's not included is the HOA. The HOA is usually billed quarterly, every 3 months.
Okay, if there's HOA.
Yeah, if there is an HOA.
So, and also always try to throw in a whole months of mortgage once a year at least.
Once a year, yes.
Yeah.
If you can. That principal and interest. Like I said, if your total payment's $2,000, but the principal and interest is only the $1,500, try to do that. Or break it down. Maybe you can add an extra $110 or so a month.
So
just
to make up the year.
Yeah, just to make up that year.
That's a very good tip. I love it. So a lot of times people are looking at fixer-upper houses or ugly houses. Is it worth it ever? How do you know if a house is a good fixer-upper or it's, how do you see potential in a house?
I get that a lot. Valerie, I want a foreclosure. I want a fixer-upper. Do you really?
Okay.
Number one, how much do you know how to do on your own? And number two, how much money do you have? Because it's not always a great deal. Back before COVID hit, say maybe your early 2000 after the crash, but it maybe between 2010 to 2017, you could still find a very reasonable house and buy it and fix it up and maybe flip it or own it or something. But now the prices have jumped up much, tripled.
Yeah.
And so here's my thing is, it's great, but let's get you a home inspection. Fine. I know you're trying to look for a cheap price and you could do a lot of work on your own, but how knowledgeable are you? Like, do you have a background? Can you do electrical? I mean, do you trust yourself? Can you do, or maybe
because that's no joke.
Or no, but maybe somebody, maybe a cousin, a brother is an electrician. Maybe you have someone in the family that's a plumber. Maybe like my father, he was in construction. So yeah, anything that it came to, roofing, drywall, anything, yeah, that would be a no-brainer. Even electrical, he could do a lot of that. But when we're looking at that, what I would say is fine. You found this great priced house. It says investor special, fixer-upper. Let's get it. Let's look at it. And if you like it, we can put an offer in. You have so many days. You usually have about a 2-week period to do your inspections. Let's get you a qualified inspection and see what we are actually looking at. And then that cost incurred. I mean, if it's going to need a whole new electrical panel, if the wiring's aluminum or anything like that, let's see what that cost is going to be. And do you have the money to fix it up?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Cosmetic, yeah.
That's the thing. Do you have the money to fix it up? Because a lot of times when you're excited, like we nearly fell into that trap, and you really saved us with this, because we're like excited and we like the house and blah, blah, blah. And then you ask the question, okay, do you actually have the money to fix this? I'm like, actually, no, we don't. Because you think, oh, it's fine, the roof's fine, this is fine. But then you actually really have to think about it. Do I have $25,000 to spare? No.
Yes, to put in. Well, and at that high price, like I said, after COVID, everything's jumped up, double, triple. Do you have that money? So on that first house that you wanted, it would have been fine if it was $100,000 less,
yes,
or $50,000 less even.
It's true.
But at that price that gentleman wanted, and because you were invested in it, it was a lovely neighborhood and you had made friends and everything, it was not a good investment for you.
Yeah, it was a money pit.
He would only do the Band-Aids. And you knew that, and I could see that just by looking at the roof of your house. I'm like, these are just Band-Aids, and one day it's going to come crashing down. But yeah, that would be, there's no sense in getting you into the money pit. There is no sense in doing it.
Yeah.
Might as well keep shopping and look for a good
Be
house.
patient.
And it doesn't have to be the most perfect house. I mean, there's people that, I don't want to do absolutely no painting. And then there's people that say, it's painted orange everywhere and green with speckles. And they're like, this is fine. I'll get a sprayer and me and my dad or my brother.
Yeah,
fine.
exactly.
That's great.
So
there's cosmetic issues, and then there's really deep-rooted issues. Structural, electrical, plumbing.
Yeah. These are what we need to look out for, because we don't want to be living in our sewer. So
or with cockroaches.
Oh gosh, please. So to kind of let audience know what happened to that first house that we wanted. So we ended up breaking our lease and we bought the house that we're in now. He threw a tantrum and he ended up fixing some of the things that we brought out, certain things. He put it on sale. It was on the market for 6 months. No one bought it, and it's back in. It has renters now. Yes, so, ha ha ha. Well, he was mean. He was really mean.
He was very mean.
He was very mean.
For being that we were asking to negotiate with him.
Yeah, he was.
You gave him the price that he wanted, but when he found out that it had these major issues. What I didn't like is he or his associates were like, well, we'll just throw it on for hire and I bet you we'll sell it. Then why don't you?
And they did throw it on for hire and they didn't sell.
Then I will go and find them a better house. Because like I said, you can run your business and you can do whatever you need. It
nearly turned ugly, but I'm glad that we got out of it. But he
perfect. Yeah. Then yes, please go sell it and I will find them something different.
It triggered a lot of anger in me because I cannot stand it when people are greedy, and that was
unfair.
It
was unfair to you.
Yeah.
It was very unfair, and I'm like, so yes,
I know. So anything else that you'd like to leave our audience with?
Well, like I said, my biggest thing is you can interview as many people as you want. Recommendations of who did you use as a realtor, or
get Valerie.
No, and I appreciate it. But and not only me, but just somebody you trust. And you don't have to. Let's say you work with somebody. There have been times where I start working. Then maybe they were a referral. We start working. We just don't click. That's fine for either one of us. I'd rather you have the best experience you're going to have and get with someone more your personality and type. But mine is more hand-holding. Mine is, like I said...
And we needed hand-holding as first-time home buyers.
And some people don't.
Okay.
But I'm also going to take care of you, though.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
You did
people,
take
it's
care of
fine.
us. Oh my
it's
God.
fine. I really love this. No, it's not fine. I know you really love this house, but if the answer is always no if you don't ask. So let's say this is your dream house, but there is a leaky something in the back. We should at least ask for it. Maybe they'll fix it. Maybe they'll give you a credit. Maybe they won't. But we should at least ask for some type of compensation for that area and see what they have to say. Maybe they'll reduce the price.
Yeah.
You know, that type of thing.
Yeah.
But we should always address the problems so that we at least say we tried. And then after that, no, Valerie, I'm totally fine with it. My dad's a roofer and he'll fix that little portion. Great. Then that's fine. But I always, like I said, we should negotiation. And I'm not warring. We're not at war. I love to work.
It felt like it when we were buying a house. Come on.
But most of the time, I'm going to say most of the time, my fellow associates it's really good and easy to work with. It's that communication. And like I said, you have somebody who wants to buy or sell. I have somebody who wants to buy or sell. We're working together to get this goal done. And there's always a solution. There's many. I know a lot of people. And let's say you need a garage door to be fixed, or, you know, some type of tune-up with... There's always people that can get paid at closing. There's always companies that say, I'll do the work, and we can send the bill. There's always a solution.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yes.
Some people are okay with being paid at closing.
Yeah, there are. And you just got to call around, and that's the thing, is having that vast base of
You do. You know
contacts.
people, don't
A lot
you?
of people.
Yeah.
I have great handymen.
Yes,
We have
you
great,
do.
Yes, I do, and all of that, and for little things, and, you know, in the big things too. But there's plenty of people. If they know that is a good, solid transaction, I've had roofs be put on, and the bill gets sent to closing. That day, the roofer gets paid, but you got a brand new roof, and there you go. I mean...
So everything's negotiable.
Yes.
And where can people find you, Valerie?
Well, I'm here locally in Albuquerque. You can go ahead and give me a call or a text, and my number is 505-250-1758. And again, this is Valerie. I'm with Realty One, and I'd love to help you, and call me with any questions.
I'll put all your details down in the show notes.
It's a good card with a good picture.
Yeah, okay. I have your card. I'll put it online as well. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you everybody for listening. I hope you got a lot of value from it and a lot of entertainment too. We love Valerie, and thank you for being on the show.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.